The horrors persist, but so do I. It is a popular comedic saying that I have heard a long time. I have worked in therapy for a little while now, different positions, and that was a thing that I would say to people instead of "I'm fine" when they would ask me how I was doing. However, it was a terrible thing to respond with, and I took down my braids, so yes, I have anyways, it was a terrible thing to respond with. It was a terrible thing to respond with because we're not supposed to joke about fear. Fear is not funny. It backs people into corners every day. People are unable to make decisions every day. It's hard. A lot of you guys have been like me, and you're fighting negative thoughts all day long. You're fighting negative thoughts all day long, and it's changed your reality, your perception, how you feel, how you think, what you believe, and sometimes even your home life, because negative thoughts can affect your home life. It can mess it up. A lot of us are okay with being afraid. I know that probably sounds like, what? I do not like this. I know I don't like it. However, for a lot of us, being afraid is familiar, convenient, and comfortable. It's uncomfortable to be afraid, right? But there's a level of dysfunction that all of us are comfortable with. I grew up and my dad was a pedophile and was a gun owner, but he also twisted the word of God. So he had a lot of deadly things on him. Fear was the name of the game growing up. I was always afraid. Always afraid. And so now that I am an adult and I didn't deal with any of that as a kid and as a teenager because I didn't have anybody to teach me, I'm having to have God teach me. I'm having to have Him teach me not to be afraid. And I'm not talking about boogeymans, none of that. Nope. What I'm talking about is just generally how not to be afraid. And how do we not be afraid? Because we've been given a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. And a sound mind just means good judgment. How do we not be afraid? We literally have to trust God. We have to do the opposite of what being afraid is. And it's trusting God. And I've found that to be surrendering whatever it is I'm afraid to God about. I go into conversation with Him about what it is that I'm afraid about. And that is how I give it to Him. And then every time I find myself afraid again, I go into conversation with Him about that thing again until it doesn't bother me anymore. This is how we cast it down.